11335 password.
Good afternoon, DUT community. My apologies for the late start. We had a bit of a technical issue. I'm just going to go straight into 1 minute for me, sorry. I'm just going to go straight into the webinar session. Unfortunately, Ruth and I got our wires crossed a little bit, and we were supposed to have an in-person today, but Ruth is joining us online, and in person, you guys are just gonna have to deal with me and not Ruth, but you guys are gonna hear her clearly and we're going to see her clearly. I want to introduce Ruth again to you. Born and raised in Indiana, USA, Ruth Nielsen Jopson, based herself outside of Perth, Australia for 4 years while working with a multinational NGO across Asia and the Middle East. Then studied digital photography at a richly diverse university in Kona, Hawaii, before finally landing on the shores of South Africa, her home for the past 17 plus years. Coming from a retail, sales, and training background, Ruth has been teaching and training cross-culturally for over 20 years. Holding an ISP designation, she recruits both nationally and internationally and derives pure joy from quickly and easily identifying skills, gifts, and talents that people don't even realize they have. Thank you so much once again, attendees, for joining our last webinar in-person skills session for the semester. Our last topic is LinkedIn, why it's an important part of your personal brand, and Ruth is going to be presenting. Can I please ask that we keep questions till we end and let Ruth present first, and then online attendees, you can pop your questions in the chat box and we will see to it at the end of Ruth's session. Thank you so much. Off to you, Ruth.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Ronelle. Can I just get a wave from some of the people live at DUT if you can hear me clearly?
Wave.
Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. You guys are with me. Okay, great. Well, again, I had a wave online. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. So welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you guys again today. Yeah, like Ronelle said, it would have been great to be there with you in person, but I'm thrilled to be here with you in any capacity. Today, we're going to talk about LinkedIn. We're going to do it a little bit differently than we did the last session together. The last session, we took questions throughout, but this time, just for the ease of presenting online, we're going to save all the questions till the end. So I think particularly, well, I guess it goes both for people live at DUT as well as people online. If you do have a question that pops up, write it down somewhere or even pop it in the chat box. I know Ronelle keeps a close eye on the chat box. And then at the end, I'll leave a healthy amount of time so we can get into some of the nitty-gritty stuff and the more specific questions that you guys have. Okay, but for now, I'm going to go through the general information that I wanted to go over with you guys, and then we'll take a Q&A at the end. Okay, so LinkedIn as a platform and the importance of it in terms of your personal brand, your professional brand. Okay, so let's see here. All right. So I want everyone to have a look at these two screens. Okay, so this is screen 1 and this is screen 2. Okay, this is like one of those look and see exercises. I'm going to show you screen 1 again and then screen 2. And I want you to make a note or put in the chat box what you see differently between these two. Okay, so this is screen 1 again. Have a good look. Look at all the details. And this is screen 2. Right. Who wants to take a stab at some of the differences between these? I'm going to show you screen 1 again while some of the answers come in. And screen 2. Ronelle, do I have the capability to see the chat, or are those answers going to come to you?
Can somebody answer? You want to see it one more time?
you want to see slide 1 again?
One more time, Ruth.
Okay, there's slide 1 and slide 2. One, two. All right. Who wants to make an observation for me?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ezekiel Macho. On screen A, the person indicated that she or he is open to work, but in screen 2, she didn't indicate that he or she is open to work. That's the difference I noticed.
Good observation. Anybody else notice anything different?
So online, I have open to network for screen A, open to work in screen 1. Second one does not have an open to work, open to network for screen A, and the types of jobs they are open to. Screen A has a company name and screen 2 has the company name and its dealings.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for the young woman that gave inputs live as well as online. Yeah, so this open to work banner does not exist on screen 2, as you noticed. And on screen 1, the open to work down here, which lists roles that you would be willing to work. Let's just have a look here. Yeah, all right. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but that was mostly just to make sure that you guys are awake. Okay, so LinkedIn as a platform serves very specific purposes. Okay, LinkedIn, for the purposes of your career, is a marketing exercise. Okay, we're going to talk more about that, but it is a platform to market yourself. You have just spent years learning a skill so that you can perform certain roles within companies, within society, to earn a living. This is how you tell the world what you can do, is via a platform like this. So LinkedIn is a space to market your skill set. It translates your studies. So it gives you a space to say all these wonderful and glorious things that you've done and you've accomplished and all these amazing skills. It gives you a place to showcase them. It is different from other platforms. It is not a consumer platform, okay? It is not somewhere where you're just going to get on and you're going to scroll and you're endlessly going to take in content. It is a platform for marketing and networking. And it is really helpful if you view it as a structured and ongoing project, not something or somewhere where you just splatter paint, as I like to say. It is a structured and ongoing project that you strategically use to market yourself, to translate, your skills and your study. I'm going to break all this down as we go along. Let's get back to my slides here. Okay, so why does any of this matter? To elaborate on what I was saying before. So the very first screenshot that we looked at, I'm going to go back to that quickly. You can see here, this person used the title HR graduate. If I, as a recruiter, got on LinkedIn and typed in HR graduates, I would come up with over 120,000 results, just like all by themselves. Okay, so yeah, so how you add detail to your profile really matters in terms of us being able to find you. Okay. In addition, if I typed in HR graduate in the job function, there'd be 75 active jobs just for that title. But it doesn't tell me what industry, what tools, what your specific skill set is within HR, anything like that. And there are on average 1,600 applicants per role with one job opportunity. Okay, so to say that a different way, that means that every time there is a HR graduate role posted on LinkedIn, there's plus minus 1,600 applicants that apply for it. We all know what the youth unemployment rates look like in South Africa, or what they say they look like. And LinkedIn is an opportunity, like I said, it's a marketing exercise. Something has to get a hiring manager or recruiter to stop and look at your profile. So these are all the reasons why your LinkedIn profile, how you articulate it, and why. Why it's a structured and ongoing project versus something that you just chuck online like a paint splatter. Okay. It's really a marketing exercise. So you are a competitor in a job market. Oh, I went. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, it's a marketing exercise. You're a competitor in a job market, and the point is to be found. You want me to find you. You want other recruiters within companies and agencies to find you. So the information presented on LinkedIn, on this marketing platform, needs to be purposeful. It needs to be clear and compelling and have a purpose. It needs to position you of how you want to be perceived by others. Not what you've done, not how you see yourself, not all the nitty-gritty details, but how you want people to view you. It needs to have a presence. Can you even be found? Are you even visibly digitally online? It's amazing to me how many people spend so much time and energy on varsity, getting through varsity, paying for varsity, and then haven't bothered to create a presence so that they can be found to do the thing that they have fought so hard and long to be able to do for the qualification that they have. LinkedIn is a marketing exercise that allows you to share your personality, your communication style, your tone, and how you feel about certain subjects that you can weigh in on. Okay, so these are all things that will provide context and make you stand out on LinkedIn as people are searching for candidates. It enables you to stand out from the 120,000. Okay, so we're going to look at some examples here. Okay, so this is just a cute marketing I say cute, but actually a really effective marketing example. So you'll see here, these are both for Melon Mobile. So on a street ad, goodness, I keep pressing the wrong button. Veldskun had an ad there, and Melon, sorry guys, my mouse just has a mind of its own. Melon placed an ad over the Veldskun, but positioned it specifically so the Oh My Sole is just above the sole of the shoe, referencing the shoe, but points back to their offering. And on the left side here, this espresso, same company, Melon Mobile, but positioned wake up call to highlight what's already there, but their own creativity. So those are just two interesting marketing examples that have to do with wording and positioning. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of this now, but there are core elements of a good profile. Okay, so you're going to have the visuals, which would be the banner at the top of the LinkedIn profile and your picture, your header, and your about. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of this just now. You definitely need to have a banner. You could make it of DUT. You could make it of different values that represent you, but you need to have a banner there. The picture of you could be you in your cap and gown, but this is a professional picture. This is for a professional environment. This is not the picture that you use as your profile picture on Instagram, on your WhatsApp, a picture that you would send to your friends. This is a bit more professional than that. This should be something a bit more head and shoulders-ish, something that shows you smiling and has good lighting. Okay. And okay, so I'm actually going to leave the picture thing. Let me go on. Okay, so this whole section here where you see this coffee and computer picture and then this headline here. This is a banner and a headline. So depending on what industry you are in, this could be a computer with a bunch of wires. If you are in some sort of IT space, and then have a headline here about sort of like the 3 areas of IT that you're thinking that you want to go into. This is where a photo would go in that space there. So back to this. Okay, so that's your header and about. Okay, let's look here. Okay, so in your about, these words need to be strategically chosen to represent roles that you are interested in. Okay, so the last time that I taught in person at DUT, we had a number of people there from accounting as well as the IT department. So this could read BCom accounting honors, BCom financial management graduates, obviously. And there's obviously these lines that delineate or differentiate between the different words, which is really visually clean. And then these additional words are words that describe other areas of professional or other areas of career that they're interested in. So this could read BCom accounting, and then you could say tech specialist, auditing nerd. I'm just giving, I'm making random things up. This could say BTech information technology or BCom information technology, C++, Java, and list front-end developer and list some of the different areas that you are interested in or you feel like you're interested in right now. Okay, we talked about career experience. Okay, so as you scroll down on a LinkedIn profile, there's a portion there where you can add any career experience that you might have. If you have done internships, if you have worked part-time through varsity, anything of that nature, you want to add in the details on your LinkedIn profile because it's basically an online version of your resume, of your CV. So whatever you would have put on your CV, and if you're not sure what to put on your CV, you must go back and reference the last teaching that we had together. We had a whole conversation about what to put on your CV, what's applicable, how do you word things. So you can go back and look at that. But any experience that you have, whether it's volunteer projects that you did at varsity, part-time work, holiday work, all of that can go here under your career and experience. Your qualifications. So it's going to ask you to list the institution, the name of the qualification, and I believe the year. The more information that you can add there, the better. Both under your career experience and your qualification. You just see this slide here. No, it doesn't show me on this example. But under career experience there, it allows you to add skills, okay? So again, under skills, you want to list, if you're in IT, you want to list the main tools that you use. You're going to use your tech stack, what you use. Yeah, like I said, the C++, Java, Angular, whatever, all those tools that you use, you want to list them there so that, again, those are words that can be searched on LinkedIn. And then also under qualifications, this is a good place to list different skills that you have or different things that different areas that you've covered in your study. So taxation, auditing, cost management, raw material conversion, whatever it may be, you can add those in a specific section and it just gives greater searchability to your profile. Okay. Projects, we talked about that, volunteer work, recommendations. Okay, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of a LinkedIn profile, there is a button that says recommendations, and you can send it to someone else on LinkedIn and ask them to give you a recommendation. So this would go to Anybody that, if you did do any type of work, you could send it to a manager or someone that you reported to, and that would be able to give feedback on the various functionality and how you performed your roles. It could go to a teacher or a professor, someone in an NGO that you worked with. But those recommendations are quite nice because it's like social credibility. It's getting a reference that you would get for your CV. So your whole LinkedIn profile is very, very similar to your CV. It is a different form of it. It's almost like an active, iterative version of it. Okay, so one of the benefits of LinkedIn is that you basically get like a personalized URL with your name. So use the same name that is on your CV, because that is the name that I'm going to search for. When I receive a CV, I'm going to go look on LinkedIn for that exact name. So if you use your known name, the name that everyone at school and your friends or whatever call you on your CV, and then you use your birth name, your ID book name for your LinkedIn profile, I'm not going to find you. Whatever you put on your CV must also go on your LinkedIn profile, so that everything matches up. Okay, industry, role, and specific keywords. Okay, so again, you're going to have a spot on your LinkedIn where you can add specific industries that you're interested in or specific areas that you're interested in. So again, if you came from IT and you specifically want a role in SQL, you're going to add SQL, insurance, banking. You're going to add the specific words there so that you're more findable by people searching for such skills in LinkedIn. Okay. This obviously shows location. There's your banner again in your picture. Okay. So just to go over a little bit again. Okay, so your headline at the top of your LinkedIn page, it's not a statement of what you do. It's not for you, it's for others. And as it says here, ChatGPT is really good at giving prompt ideas. So you can copy and paste this. You can take a screenshot or take a photo right now, but this is a great prompt to put into ChatGPT. Can you give me some LinkedIn headline examples based on this prompt? And so this is the example obviously here: software developer, Java, Python, problems you solve your offer, years of experience. Okay. And ChatGPT gives incredible LinkedIn headlines. So again, this could read financial management, specific software that you're comfortable with, and specific avenues under which you have particularly studied into. So you don't have to get stuck. You guys are very fortunate that you are coming into the work world in an age where you have so many resources at your hand, such as a ChatGPT, to help you develop these resources for yourself. Okay. So this is just an interesting example. So this came off of a LinkedIn profile. So a recent graduate, you can see he's got his photo there and his little cap, he's got his open to work. And so 10 points for him for having a profile, for posting something. We're going to talk a bit about posting now, but I want to know what your impression is. Okay, so he posts this picture of a car with the wheel clamped on it. It's obviously parked somewhere it shouldn't be. It's got the pink slip on it. And to solve this problem, he took the wheel off completely and put it in his boots. And then the tagline here, or the wording, the posting with it says critical thinking and decision making. So I am curious what everyone thinks. What impression do you get of this graduate with this information here, with this wording and this photo, these photos? Who's going to talk to me?
There's a comment online, Ruth. They always make a plan. Somebody says unprofessional. Anyone in the room? have a very shy audience here today.
No, you guys are not allowed to be shy. Okay, there's a hand in the back. Yes.
We have ethics and integrity.
Good morning, colleagues.
Morning.
Susan Lande. Firstly, I would say it's not professional what they did, because on the driver's side on the window, there's a clear note that gives you instruction as to how to go about. But instead of having to follow that, they came up with innovation or having to do with the problem, which in this case, it was not always expected of them to act accordingly, because there were instructions that they were supposed to follow, because they are clamped simply because they've parked in the wrong space. So that's my observation.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, look, I think there could be a variety of different perspectives on this post, but some things to keep in mind is that this is a professional platform where you are advertising yourself as a professional. So this post, to me, I would maybe send this to my friends or to my family as like a funny haha. But this is not how I would want to be known professionally. So if I looked at this, no matter who posted it, I would look and think, okay, but why didn't they just follow? Why did they park there, first of all? Maybe there's a real reason, but why didn't they follow instructions? And are they going to follow instructions if I allow them into my workspace and into my team and into my environment? That would be a question mark for me. And I'm not making a judgment call either way on this person's. But the point is, what you post online will get seen and people will draw conclusions based on what you post on LinkedIn. So interesting, the different impressions that you can give. So,
Sorry, Ruth.
yes.
Your comments, it was something that you mentioned as well. The inability to take or follow instructions. He's a critical thinker. He thinks on his feet. Unfortunately, he went about it the wrong way.
I think all of those comments are so valid. All of them, all at the same time.
And then just something about that post. Hypothetically speaking, if you leave out the integrity and ethics, what do you make of it personally?
You know what? I think that the major thing is, which is why I said this here, it matters what platform it was on. It matters what platform it's on. If this had been shown, like I said, if you found this on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, it could be like a funny haha, like, oh yeah, that's pretty sharp, like found a way around the system, like kudos. But it's not on one of those social platforms. It's on a business professional platform. And that is the thing that I want to drive home here, is that what you post on a professional platform will be interpreted in a professional manner, not in a social, jovial way. So I think that's actually a very interesting question, which is also why I said that all of those comments, all of the above, because it is an innovative solution and it was quick thinking, but it's also not following instructions. So it has everything to do with what impression you want to give and where. That is the main point.
And somebody says it speaks of who you are.
This is the point. So another example is I had a colleague the other day that was searching for a graduate project manager, and very specific skill set. They went through multiple rounds of interviews with the candidate. She was amazing. And then as a final step before making her a job offer, they combed her social media. And her social media was so unprofessional in every way, shape, or form that she didn't end up getting the offer, because the impression that she left was so misaligned with the organization that was about to make her an offer. So it's the same as you going to a job interview and cracking a really bad joke. It's the same thing. It's just a different format or different form to do it in. Oh, goodness, I just can't get these buttons right. Sorry, guys. Okay, so once you're on LinkedIn and you have your header and you have your photo and you've made this beautiful headline, you want to actually start working this platform, which is why I said earlier, it's not a content consuming platform. It is a platform where you are going to have to dig in. You are going to market yourself on there. And part of the way that a big chunk of the way that you're going to market yourself is by posting and commenting, okay? The impressions people get when they view are more than the basics, okay? So a strong part of your personal brand and the representation of your suitability. Okay, so when you create posts on LinkedIn and when you leave comments, you have the ability to highlight any technical knowledge that you have to bring to the table, that you have to offer. You have the opportunity to highlight or prior related experience and contribute to a conversation. You have the opportunity to communicate, to highlight your soft skills. So by posting and by commenting, you are showing that you are proactive. You're showing the ability to communicate. You're showing how you're going to communicate, what types of people you can communicate with, what topics matter to you, your sensitivity. There's all sorts of soft skills that come through in posts and comments, and your ability, your application of the actual learning that you have done, that you've recently acquired. So your posts and your comments are the actual, I want to say, the ongoing work of marketing yourself. Okay, so on average, in a week, you want to like 4 posts, okay? It is better to comment than just like, but you don't want to just randomly like 4 posts. You want to do it strategically, okay? So if you in IT and there's a specific division of IT that really interests you, I'm going to use the SQL, the SQL example. You want to find posts about SQL and relational databases and handling volumes of data, these different posts and threads that interest you. So you're choosing them strategically. And those ones you are going to comment on because it builds into your personal brand. If you are in IT and you are wanting to get into SQL and relational databases, there's an HR post or on a, accounting post, because that is not where you're wanting to build. I'm going to go back here. Technical knowledge, related experience, soft skills, or highlight application of learning. So you want to strategically choose posts where you are going to comment. You want to think about what you're going to say, consider your audience, and use the notification option. Okay, so again, this is not you and your friends sitting around in a dorm room just shooting the breeze, talking about this, that, and the other. This is the same as writing a report or commenting, writing an email to a professor. You would structure an email to a professor probably very differently than you would your communication on the same topic to a peer if you were sitting in your dorm room. You need to think about what you are saying and who you are saying it to. Just because you're behind a laptop doesn't mean you can just go, no, this is the worst thing ever. How dare you? Can't believe you said that. How stupid. You are building a personal brand. You want to be known as someone that calls people stupid on public platforms. You need to think about what you are saying and provide insights, because again, you are trying to highlight your technical knowledge, any prior related experience, what soft skills, again, your communication style. Can you disagree with someone or provide another perspective without calling someone names? You are showing how you can apply your learning. And then you obviously want to turn your notifications on so you can see if anyone's engaged with you. So you can, and that could potentially lead to building relationships with a company. And then you want to try to create at least one unique post a week. Okay, so you can share content with your own commentary. It can be thoughts of your own related to a topic. But again, technical knowledge, any prior related experience, maybe again with the NGO, an internship that you did, part-time work that you did during varsity. You're highlighting all those wonderful soft skills that you're going to need no matter what role that you're in, and you're highlighting how you can apply your learning. Okay, so listen, your generation has grown up creating content for online. I don't think creating content is a stretch. I think creating relevant content in a professional manner might be a skill that you have to be considerate of. Again, think about creating and writing an email to a professor or to the president of the university, or commenting on a policy at the university. You would comment on it in a professional manner so that you were taken seriously, not from yelling, screaming, shouting. So this is the same thing. You want to pick topics that you're interested in, maybe even tie it back to some of the keywords that you posted at the top of your profile, areas or industries that you're interested in. So there's a lot that you can do there in terms of content creation. And again, you can use ChatGPT in this regard. Help me create a content calendar for LinkedIn posting as a graduate around the topics of robotics engineering, automation, C++ programming, and Linux. I don't know. See what you, and it might not be, then it's not the aim to copy and paste, but it's another way of brainstorming. Okay. So similar to what I was just saying, plan ahead. Okay, you can, again, content creation, I feel like, is something that your generation has grown up with. Create a series, create a theme, plan ahead, create enough posts for a week or a month, depending on sort of how easy or how challenging that is for you. You can set your own volume. You can create 1 a week. You can create 3 a week. It all depends on you and sort of the personal brand that you want to create. You could prioritize creating 1 post a week and then commenting on 5 posts of industry experts. You could decide that you're going to post 3 times a week and only comment on 2 or 3. So it really depends on what you want to do. But again, this is a project. I'm going to go back. This is a project platform. I'm calling it a project platform so that you view it that way. It's not a social media platform where you just consume content. It is a project platform where you're strategically marketing yourself. So the more intentional that you can be, plan ahead, create a theme, create posts ahead of time, save ideas or links or articles that you think would be interesting to make content. And you can even use a scheduling funnel if you'd like to. Okay, so this is what do you think about this? So this is on everyone's screen. I'm going to read it out loud. This was a post by an HR graduate. Okay, rejection email a few seconds after submitting your application. Let's talk about knockout questions. The truth is, there are many methods that hiring managers/recruiters use to narrow down their talent pool from an influx of applications, and knockout questions seamlessly fit into filtering down talents for a specific role. Now, for someone who is in the job markets, as myself, I understand how disheartening it can be to have your application efforts met with an automated rejection email. I've seen various posts highlighting the same frustration and discouraging efforts in their application journey. This is why I decided to share my perspective on some of the factors that lead to an almost immediate rejection. Here are some of the examples of knockout questions that you probably have seen right before hitting the submit button. Do you have a driver's license? Do you have your own vehicle? Are you available to work the required hours, including additional shifts as and when required? Okay, so my question is to the audience in person at DUT as well as online. What is the impression that you got from this post? What stood out to you, and what does it say to you about this grad? I can see you guys in the audience there in person at DUT. I don't see any hands up. Y'all better start raising your hands. Renal, do we have anybody online that is giving a response?
No.
Not yet. Okay,
Okay, wait. They are commenting now. Somebody says despondent. Somebody says it says that they've done their research and notices applied to various posts and were met with the most frequent knockout questions. That's what they would think.
Okay.
Somebody said that the post was easy to read.
Yeah. What
Maybe
about,
relatable.
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Relatable.
What about their, so someone said easy to read. What about their communication style? Somebody give me a comment there. What impression did this person give you about their ability to communicate?
Somebody said informative and they like how the words stand out, the short paragraphs. I think the emojis that we used.
Yeah.
Well-written communication, easy to understand, it's personable. The person sounds frustrated.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thanks, everybody. You know, if I had to give you my impression of this post, I would say, okay, first of all, this person is extremely professional. So they never said they were frustrated. They never said they were angry. They never, any of those words. You can feel it a little bit, but it's not pervasive. What stands out to me more is it's really easy to read. The emojis make it a little bit eye-catching. It tells me that they're actively applying in the job market, that they're attentive because they're paying attention to what's happening during their process. It tells me that they're constantly learning and growing because they're understanding more and more what the process is, why it's going like that. So these are all soft skills that come through in this post without this person actually saying any of it. Tells me they were intentional, like you would have had to sit and structure an entire post for this. So there's a lot that gets said about you other than the actual words on the page. It's similar to body language, but again, in a different format. So your posting on LinkedIn is an incredible opportunity for you to say things about yourself without having to say them directly. Okay. So again, just a reminder that LinkedIn is all about marketing you. You've just spent the last number of years getting this amazing degree, making yourself proud, doing something you probably didn't know you could do, making your family proud. Now it is time to market you. You are going to use a catchy headline. You want to obviously entice people to read it. Use numbers or bullet points, use images or emojis as part of your post. And then there's always the video or carousel format, which reads really well with the algorithm. And then you can add a question to entice comments, okay? So I'm gonna go back to the example we just looked at and show you another example. So we have, you know, the little emojis. Oh, goodness. It stands out nicely. They used a form of bullet points here. So there's quite a lot of things that this post has done well. And then this is another example. So this is a question example. Okay, so there's an image that's used here that's quite eye-catching. And two simple sentences. You know, how would you answer this in an interview? Why would you want to join this company? So this is very enticing for someone to click on and hear your further thoughts. So those are just two examples. See if there's anything else there that I wanted to labor on. Okay, it's two good examples. Okay, another important part of LinkedIn is building a network. Okay, as this says here, your magic number is 500. You want to make 500 connections like yesterday. Doesn't include your friends, and 500 is not the number where you stop. But 500 is like a magical number that creates immensely more second and third connections on LinkedIn. And it is a number in which people always, like I always say people, like recruiters and hiring managers, they look to see who has and who hasn't networked on LinkedIn. And it's sort of a benchmark in which anybody under 500, it's like, okay, they haven't been very active. Anybody over 500, it's like, oh, okay, you're seen as someone that's proactive, okay? So you want to make 500 connections as soon as humanly possible, okay? Again, this is a strategic exercise that is aligned to your job search strategy. You want to reach out to companies, HR, and managers in your field. If you are in IT, there is no benefit in you reaching out to a hotel manager. Like it doesn't line up, okay? So you want to reach out to people in the field that you want to be in the jobs, like in the field that you want to be in, that have the decision-making authority in that space. People in hiring positions or the same roles are higher than you. So if you want to be a senior software developer, or if you want to be a software developer, you're going to reach out to senior software developers. If you want to specifically work in gaming space, you're going to reach out to HR managers, and senior software developers within the gaming space. If you want to work in robotics or the automotive space, you are going to reach out to, let's say, for example, I'm going to give a different, let's say you are an accounting major, but you are an absolute car buff or fundy. You love this space and you would love to work in an automotive space as an accountant or any role. You are going to reach out to HR managers, HR personnel managers, or people in hiring decisions, accountants, anybody in a financial position within the automotive space, so that you're creating connections within the sphere that you actually want to go into. You're going to reach out to influencers and leaders in the space that you want to be in. You're going to join groups and follow company pages within the space that you want to be in. So again, I'm going to go back to it over and over again. This is a project. This is a strategic marketing platform that you use intentionally, and you see it as a project space. There is initial framework that you set up, and then it is an ongoing iterative process that you build into. Okay, so once you start building a network on LinkedIn, you want to build a little bit of rapport before you start sending people like a, hey, do you have any job openings? Can I send you my CV? I'd be great for that role you have posted pitch, which is all the more reason to reach out to people now so that you already have a connection with them. And I would even suggest, I always enjoy it when a candidate reaches out or someone reaches out to me on LinkedIn, I accept it, and then they follow it with a message saying, thanks so much, nice to meet you here. And that could actually be all that the message says, but it's just a professional, it's like someone saying hello to you when you pass them in the hallway at work. That's pretty much what it is. So there's some sort of communication connection there before you start going into, hey, I see you have an opening in your department, whatever the case may be. Use the features in the different sections to direct people to your best work. So you can, just gonna move the screen. You can link articles, you can post awards, you can add your CV or a portfolio of your work to your LinkedIn profile. So if you are any type of creative and you are wanting to be found, you absolutely 1000% need to have a portfolio that whether it's a link that leads to a website or a web page of some form, or you need to have multiple images that describe the projects and, what the brief was and why you did it this way. You could have all of the above, and it just depends on what your strategy is. But you need to have, especially for creative person, you have to have visualizations there. If you are in the engineering department and let's call it a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer, have pictures of the work that you've done, drawings that you've done. Just showcase as best as possible what you've done. If you've written articles for online spaces, highlight those. Okay, let's see here. This is a random, did you know 47% of people will accept an invite with no personalization rather than one that is poorly constructed. So when you ask someone to connect with you on LinkedIn, it gives you, sometimes, it depends, this is kind of a thing that has to do with their ruling, but sometimes it allows you to send a note, sometimes it does not. I would rather go, so what this is saying is send the invite with no notes, rather than sending a poorly constructed note, because even if, you're allowed to, you've got very minimal characters. Rather reach out with no personalization and then wait until you're able to write a full message to them. I think we're close. Let me just see here. Okay, well, now I think we're coming close to the end if you want to start pulling questions. But just to finish up here, wait. So LinkedIn is only one part of your personal brands. There's multiple platforms that you can check across. So again, any type of developer, people in the IT space, you're going to want to have a repository on GitHub. Creatives are going to want to have something on Behance or another platform. You want to double check the security features and make sure that you've been verified and that you haven't set your profile so that accidentally you've set it to private so people can't see you. Again, make sure that your LinkedIn is aligned with your CV. Your name has to be aligned, your dates need to be aligned. So I would say nail down your CV, again, referring to our last presentation and workshop that we did together, nail down your CV and then use that same information to put on your LinkedIn profile. Because those will get cross-referenced. 100% they will get cross-referenced. And the last thing that you want is for somebody to pass up an opportunity because they're like, oh, this person's CV says this, but it says that on LinkedIn. And then they just don't even take the time to phone you because for whatever reason, maybe they're busy, maybe they, don't, I don't know what, but you just want everything to line up and make it as easy as possible for people looking for you. Be authentic. Offline and in an interview, you need to live up to the image that you've created. Okay, so again, this is about you showcasing who you are and what you can and cannot do. You are a graduate. There's limited experience that you have. Don't claim to do things that you haven't done. Be very clear about what you can and cannot do. Ask questions a lot. Ask a lot of questions. Be consistent in building your network, posting, and engagement. This is the biggest and number one rule, is that be consistent. Be consistent. Once you have strategically decided, okay, I'm going to make 2 posts a week and comment on 4 posts and then follow that thread, do it. Set it in your calendar. Do it as if it was a job. Do it as if it was your project for the moment, because it is. It is your job. It is your project until you land that original job or the first job that you're after. See here. Okay, these are just some generally useful sites. One last thing for now. Okay, so these are generally useful sites. So you can go to canva.com to help create all sorts of images for your different profiles. This link right here, remove.bg, will remove photo backgrounds. And then this one is it will give you input on making over your LinkedIn profile. Okay. That's it. I'm gonna go back up here. Renelle, I'm ready for questions.
Okay, so I have a question online. So if you have various experience in various sectors or roles and you have a tailored CV, should you also tailor your LinkedIn profile or have it specifically with all the information for all the various roles?
Read it for me one more time.
So if you have various experience in various sectors or roles, and you have a tailored CV, should you also tailor your LinkedIn profile or have it specifically with all the information for all the various roles? So basically, I think she's asking if she needs to summarize on her LinkedIn or have a comprehensive CV or have a comprehensive LinkedIn. Should it match?
I would say, so if I think back to the last workshop that we did together, there was a young woman sitting in the back that said, you know, from the finance department, I want to get a job in a finance department with a company, but my experience is in call center. Okay. So again, you are marketing yourself into a role that you want to be in. So all of your wording on here is about marketing the experience that you do have, as well as marketing yourself into the roles and the industries that you want to be in. So definitely list the experience that you have. And I would say word it so that it's angled towards the industry and the roles that you want to be in. So it makes sense to have versions of your CV, like in using the same example, that it makes sense to have a version of your CV that would be applicable to a call center. But on LinkedIn, you want to present as a financial, as someone from a financial department, because that is what you ultimately want to land. And they'll pick up the call center stuff in between, but LinkedIn is about marketing yourself into whatever space and role you want to be in. Does that answer the question?
Does that answer your question? Just waiting for her to type up.
Are there other questions, Salom? Winnie?
So somebody's asking, can you please repeat what you just said now?
Okay. In our last workshop, we talked about having different versions of your CV that highlight skills for different roles, highlight different experiences and skills that you have for different roles. Okay, so the example was someone who's currently studying accounting, but the majority of their work experience comes from a call center. So it's likely that their CV, they would have a accounting CV that highlights their accounting experience. So all the same information, but the wording is targeted towards accounting. And then there's a version of their CV that is all the same career history, education information, but the wording is targeted to highlight experience for a call center. LinkedIn is about marketing yourself into an industry and into the roles that you want to be in. So you will still list any call center experience that you have, but you want to present it, you want to word it for the roles that you want ideally. So you want to, so the accounting grad with call center experience is going to create her LinkedIn profile as someone aiming to be in finance, because that is the role she wants to be in.
Thank you. Thanks, Ruth. We understand now. This current page that you're on, somebody says, I missed where you into the details on this page. In other words, the details on the top and under the image. I'm looking at LinkedIn profile. Well, she's looking at LinkedIn profile now. Is it core, recommended, or additional?
What are they asking me? Is core or recommended? This information here.
Yeah.
This is core information. You absolutely have to have this. So this is something that we covered in the presentation. It's probably best that you actually go back and watch the recording when this is done, but just to quickly rehash it. So these are core elements of a solid profile. So you have to have the visuals of a banner and a picture. So here's your banner. So this is going to reflect the industry that you want to work in or the skill set that you have, and a photo here. So personally, for me, the profiles that have photos, I find them far more credible than the ones that don't have a profile picture. That is my personal opinion. This headline here is going to be words that represent, that speak to the roles that you want to be in. And this is a greater extension of that. Yeah, your header and your about me. These are core elements. Absolutely. What else?
Is there anyone in the room with a question? Yes. Oh, so Ruth, sorry, I'm gonna get to you now. I'm asking where you actually put in the words.
I'm not quite sure which words are they referring to.
So maybe I can just quickly, are you talking about the banner that says talent acquisition content? Can we unmute you, Ursula? Are you fine if we unmute you? And then you can ask your question. How do you add these words? So I think basically she's asking about the banner.
Okay.
Just gonna try and unmute.
No, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. I'll answer that question. So this banner is only an image on LinkedIn. So you only have the option of uploading an image. You also want to be sure that the image that you upload is a good pixel size. You don't want it to look all like grainy and pixelated. The words were put on here by someone, or they were on there. So these words aren't natural. They're not going to automatically come. There's not going to be a text box that pops up. So I would go to Canva and create a banner and actually make an image with the wording on it that you're going to then put in on your LinkedIn.
Ursula, you can unmute your mic.
Yeah, that kind of answers part of the question. And then the words below, so you actually have to create that whole banner yourself. LinkedIn doesn't give you the opportunity to put in words, is what you're saying. And then the words beneath the image, where it says I provide guidance.
That is a text box. That is a text box on your profile that you can fill in.
Trying to find it. I just think mine maybe looks a bit different from yours. Because when I go to it says add profile section, enhance profile. I assume those are the kind of areas that I would do this in. But I'm just, when I say add profile section, it comes up with a huge amount of options. But anyway, I'll play around with it.
Look for one. So this is you've got a header and you've got an about. So it's likely to be one of those two titles.
Yeah, I'm not getting the same options. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was just wondering if it was part of premium LinkedIn rather than ordinary print.
No,
LinkedIn.
It's definitely not. I'm sorry that I don't know. Everything that I've spoken to you guys about is basic LinkedIn. It's nothing that you have to pay for.
Okay.
And this I'm sorry, I don't know the name of this exact box. I would say this is just your about me, but because this is blocked out, it obviously, so this is usually the person's name there. And then I believe this is called the about me box, but you might just have to fiddle with some of those boxes and add different ones on there and see where they pop up. But this is all ordinary stuff that comes with a free basic entry-level LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, I think it must be one of these add profile sections. So just quite a few of them. So, okay.
Thank you, Ursula. If you do look in the chat box, Nirmala has given us a description of where you need to go.
Thank you.
Great.
So thank you so much, Nirmala, for that. Can we get the in presence question, please? You can go ahead.
Greetings. I would like to ask the questions about, is it Is it, can we add our modules that we're studying as I'm studying a course of BI and CT? Can I add those modules as part of my skills? Because one of my RA recommended that all of my modules that I'm actually studying are also considered to be skills. Like for an instance, we can list like say Python. Python is a skill, and that I am learning Python. Can we actually do like list the modules that we learned during our institution level as
Yeah.
skills?
Absolutely. Definitely list Python and the other modules that you've done, because those are likely to be words that are being searched for when companies are looking for graduates with that specific experience. Yeah, and it just gives context to your actual skill sets. So yeah, good point.
Your question answered? Okay, thank you. Online, I have, so if, for example, I want to be a lecturer and I have no experience, maybe I have a master's or PhD degree, do I then post about research topics or different things in the education sector, etc.? How do you market yourself into a lecturer position?
Okay, so I don't know much about that specific industry, but it sounds like you're on the right track. And honestly, I would start by going and speaking to one of your lecturers and going, how do I get from here to there? Is this a good plan? And see what they think of your sort of like thought process to get from where you are and your thought topics. But yeah, it sounds like you're on the right track to me.
How relevant would this information be to an individual? Okay, sorry. You can add skills gained from other modules and that allow for practical, sorry, this is just. How relevant will this information be to an individual who wants to enhance their company's LinkedIn page? Is it advisable to apply the information relayed today in the room?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Also don't understand this question. Can we unmute you, Apele? I'm gonna unmute you and you can explain. Can you just raise your hand, Apele, and then I will unmute you. And then there's another person that says, I joined LinkedIn, but I cannot post, comment, or see people who viewed my profile. So does it mean we have to pay monthly premiums to do this, making it difficult if you're still job hunting?
Hi. I'm the one who asked the question on
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, you can ask the question.
I was asking if what we have been taught today, is it advisable to use the information, but in a sense of creating my company's LinkedIn page? Not for myself as an individual, but for the entity.
Yeah, I would say a lot of it still applies. You're still marketing your company. Your tagline at the top here in your banner is going to be, the core value, the core proposition that you have to offer customers or clients. This wording is going to be in a nutshell what your company does, what it has to offer. So oh, sorry, I keep pressing the wrong buttons, darn it. Yeah, so the same principles do very much apply. You just have to think about them slightly differently.
And then for the means of communication, for instance, to be relevant using the emojis and stuff, I've once learned that as a business, when you use more emojis and whatnot, it seems to downgrade your professionalism as a company, not as an individual. Is that true or?
Yeah. So there is a wonderful saying in English to say everything in moderation, which means as long as you don't go overboard with something, it can be okay. So I don't think there's anything wrong with emojis. I think it has everything to do with the brand that you're building. So I would not expect an attorney's office to have lots of emojis in their communication or in their LinkedIn profile, because they tend to handle more serious and critical matters and legal matters and so on and so forth. I wouldn't be at all surprised if an IT company or a marketing agency had emojis in their communication. They're meant to be creative. They're meant to be lighthearted. The example that we used earlier, let me see if I can find it, of Melon Mobile, this font and the whole sort of feel of it is a bit more lighthearted. So I could imagine emojis being in there. So, but again, I'll go back to this. There are 2 emojis used here. So I'm missing 3. So this is moderation. So there's all these words and just 1 or 2 emojis that really emphasize something, but are also on brand. So it all depends on how you use them.
Has your question been answered? Is there any questions online? Nirmala has commented, Apele, companies follow same process. Posts should reflect value proposition, achievements, industry relevant posts. So I hope that's also helpful to you.
Renelle, what was the question that you read out just before we got Apele?
It was actually his question. He was in the room, but he posted in the chat box.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I have a question. Is it okay to include your informal experience in your LinkedIn profile?
Yes. So I'm going to refer you back to our last webinar that we did where we spoke about what to put on your CV, because your LinkedIn profile should be a direct reflection of your CV. And let's say it's volunteer work with an NGO or an unpaid internship. All of that you want to add on your experience, assuming that it adds into just highlighting that you have work experience and aids towards the direction that you want to go with your career. That makes sense.
I have a next question in person. Go ahead.
Bonjour.
Hello.
My other question is, I've heard some people say that if you are failing to get experience or able to learn some jobs which will earn you some entry level experience, they say you can actually build your own experience. So as I'm a cybersecurity agent, I want to specialize in cybersecurity. We often experience, because we are working with critical metals, processing the company's asset. I do not have an experience because I haven't been hired in any way. I'm actively seeking for jobs, for internship jobs or even voluntary jobs. But there are online platform which can able to give you experience. Can we use that experience that we earn from an online entity to our LinkedIn?
Okay, so I just wanted to double check that I understood what you asked, because I think it cut out for a few of the words. So your security experience, is that cybersecurity or physical?
Cybersecurity, yes, it's cybersecurity. Yep.
Okay.
Basically,
So
what he's asking is that he's doing cybersecurity at the moment, and he doesn't have any experience because he's still in the market, the job market, and he does some online experience, and can he add that onto his LinkedIn profile?
okay, so I don't know. Again, cybersecurity is not an area that I know in depth, but I feel really confident that there would definitely be some sort of community forum, platform, gaming platform, so to speak, where one can practice their skills. I would find those forums or those platforms and practice your cybersecurity skills. Do a mock project, do a mock security threats, and have sort of a response study that you can post online to show what skills you used and how you did it. But just any experience, I would say I would definitely post it on your LinkedIn.
Okay, he's good with that. Just to also share, the Advancement and Alumni Relations Unit has launched our WhatsApp line solely for DUT alumni. And on that platform, we share opportunities and internships, learnerships, employment opportunities that we do get. So if you do want to join our WhatsApp line, only if you're an alumnus of DUT, we're not doing students or staff yet, we're just servicing alumni because we're the Alumni Relations Unit. Just send me an email, I'll send you the WhatsApp number and you can join in.
Awesome. That's great, Renal. What other
Is there-
questions do we have?
Is everybody good?
Renal, if I can just make a closing comment while we see if anyone has any last questions. Anyone that came in late or was not at the last workshop, I'd really encourage you to go back, get the recording of it and watch the recording about crafting a compelling CV. There's so much information there that's going to directly tie into creating a LinkedIn profile. The two need to mirror each other, and they're just different versions of each of the same thing. So definitely go back, watch that recording, and then I would rewatch this one as well, and you can use them both sort of as a guideline as you make your LinkedIn profile.
Thanks, Ruth. So if there is no more questions, I am going to end the session. And just to reiterate what Ruth said, we've got a YouTube channel now, which we have established, and we have all the different recordings from our first session with Recruiters Care up until today. Today is the last session for this semester. However, we will be back next semester. We are going to be running more skills workshops, collaborating with Recruiters Care. And I have to stress this, and I have to say it again. We're so grateful for Recruiters Care because they've come on as a volunteer service to us. They want to share their skills, they want to share their knowledge with us, and we are very grateful for the partnership and collaboration with them, free of charge. I just have to keep on saying that because not lots of companies these days come on board and share their time and share their skills and share their knowledge freely without coming with a price tag. So we're very, very grateful for that. Sorry, Nirmala has her hand up. Should I unmute you? 1 minute for me. Okay, sorry, it was a mistake. So we're very grateful for the attendees. We're very grateful for Recruiters Care, Ruth, Geeta, Landry, who have been our facilitators for the past couple of workshops. And we're very grateful for the attendees who keep on coming back and have given us constructive feedback after every session that we've had. The recordings are all on our YouTube channel, as I mentioned, from the first session to the last. This one will be uploaded as soon as I receive the recording, and I will share the recording with everybody. But if you guys want to want to learn about more skills, please drop us an email, like what skills you would like to know more about, because then we can also just chat to Recruiters Care, and then we can put something else together. And a very exciting announcement. Pietermaritzburg. I know that we have a lot of Pietermaritzburg students, alumni, and staff on the online session, and they've been asking us why we're not coming there. We are coming to you in May of this year. We will be traveling to PMB, and we'll be having an in-person session in PMB. So very excited about that, and we look forward to engaging with you. Thank you, everybody, once again from the Advancement and Alumni Relations Unit, from Recruiters Care. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you again, Ruth. You're always very insightful. I really enjoy your sessions, and we look forward to hosting you at our other events. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. It's a pleasure. Bye.
Bye.